Shortly after the celebration, Alana received an urgent notification on his cell phone. An anonymous employee was pointing out serious irregularities in another company that Johnson Enterprises had recently acquired in Seattle. Alana quickly felt that his work was coming to an end, and he immediately started going over the details provided, realizing that the new challenges required new courage, careful strategy, and quick action. Exactly like in the previous operation, following preliminary analysis, Alana discreetly presented the letter received directly from Gregory King in an urgent private meeting. With a serious tone, he analyzed the evidence presented. Precisarimo Zagir Novamente was the categorical declaration made by Gregory following his cautious reflex, to which Alana acquiesced. Both of them understood that, following the recent events in TechFuture, they had a greater responsibility to continue fighting anti-ethical practices within the acquired corporate structures. A new carefully planned operation would formally begin at that moment. Alana discreetly started the strategic planning of the new investigative operation. They put together a very trustworthy team led by Samuel Chennard to help directly with the mission. Specialized personnel in corporate disarray and legal espionage were carefully assigned to the newly chosen group. Alana closely monitored every detail, fully aware of the necessity to ensure a new, integral success. The experience they had previously gained clearly increased their confidence and determination in the face of the critical challenges of that new task. After a few weeks, Alana left the country briefly before embarking on a discreet flight to Seattle's troubled seaside. After silently listening to the janilas of the aircraft, Alana recalled all the difficulties she had overcome in the past, clearly recognizing the weight and importance of the new mission at her front. She knew that new risks would inevitably arise, but she was fully prepared and determined to face and overcome any future obstacles in that ongoing battle for corporate and corporate justice. Before we return, they tell us where you are helping, and if this narrative takes place. Don't let them get sucked in, since I've prepared something truly unique for you. After Gregory left, Alana clearly heard Lauren talking to Anthony in an irritated manner. Without realizing that we were close to the lateral corridor where she organized her materials, Essas pessoas sempre precisam ser monitoradas de perto. Ou aproveitam qualquer oportunidade para se vitimizar. Upon immediately recognizing the prejudice of that discriminatory frame, Alana mentally recorded that fatal verbal abuse, understanding perfectly that the unexpected revelation greatly strengthened the evidence against Lauren. Even though Alana was finishing her tasks quickly, there was a noticeable increase in the company's learning environment. Colegas were worried about rumors that Gregory King's company was planning to acquire him. The uncertainty increased internal tension, especially among executives directly involved in the discriminatory practices exposed by the investigation. Alana understood that at that pivotal moment, every word or attitude there might potentially explode, necessitating the utmost caution to maintain the complete success of that critical mission. Alana discreetly sent a cryptographied message to Gregory that night, briefly reiterating the final threats obtained and the death of Lauren, who had been present hours before. Timos material definitivo was the clear conclusion. Sugiro anticiparmos and a KO final urgentment. After carefully sending the message, Alana felt the weight of that critical moment. They were well aware that the final revelation may hasten the successful conclusion of that investigation and drastically change the course and near-term future of TechFuture. Alana immediately received a prompt and direct response from the CEO after sending his message. Entendido. Amanhecido iniciarimos nossa etapa decisiva. Esteja preparada. Feeling a great deal of anxiety and determination, Alana understood that this moment represented the absolute pivotal point of the operation and mentally reviewed each phase, carefully planned to ensure complete security during the upcoming decisive hours. Fully aware of the importance of not making any mistakes in that strategic investigation, Alana was formally called by Elaine Summers to Lauren's office at 8:30 a.m. And upon arriving, she was immediately greeted by Anthony Grayson and Bruce Lancaster. Lauren's voice was frank and obviously aggressive, and Alana responded carefully, maintaining a neutral expression, fully aware of the importance of acting calmly at that critical moment and strategically waiting for the right moment to fully reveal themselves. Vincent Reed discreetly approached Alana during the Almoco period, with a firm and quiet voice. He said, "Sé que esteo tentando intimidar você. Vai Bruce segundo sus pasos. Caso precise testemunha dos abusos cometidos." Connie Camago. Alana expressed her sincere gratitude for the courage of that employee who was always discriminated against. With the utmost caution, concordu in private, it was known that such testimonies would be necessary to firmly establish the absolute credibility of the evidence obtained thus far against the executory direction. At the end of that tense period, a billhead anonimo was placed discreetly on Alana's cleaning cart. Desista en cuanto ha tempo. Sabemos quem você realmente. A calafrio instantly made her spin when she read that explicit amica, carefully examining the advice. I fully understood that it was quite likely discovered. The clear message from that direct message was that Lauren and her friends were going out together in the future, which increased the risks involved in that heinous operation. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the TechFuture movement's main figure subtly made an appearance alongside Gregory King. Gregory, accompanied by discreet security, immediately drew the attention of the employees, who were worried by the corridors. After a long period of discreet observation, Alana clearly saw that the unexpected visit indicated the highest level of operational urgency. Despite not fully understanding the significance of that moment for the future of the investigation, they continued their routine tasks while being cautious with the Faxinera. Lauren arrived quickly to greet Gregory, accompanied by Anthony Grayson, and displayed excessive friendliness. Both would strategically direct visits to carefully chosen areas, while obviously avoiding direct conversations or interactions with staff members who are part of the minority. Gregory is aware of the obvious strategy of masking internal issues. Furthermore, I would like to politely accept each word, understanding perfectly that in order to effectively mask the hidden reality, it would be necessary to carefully allow that enunciation until the opportunity to fully reveal its intentions. Later, Lauren addressed Alana in a discreet psalm. "Today, you will be restrained in the lower department. You don't want to be close to the executiva," she said sharply. Alana quickly agreed, aware of that clear attempt to escandala the CEO's strategic visit. When Alana was introduced to the Salas Esquicitas, she saw that, despite the fact that it appeared to be a quick move, it was actually a valuable opportunity to register with absolute certainty the financial archivos that had not yet been explored, which was essential to the successful completion of that important investigative mission. After a few hours, Alana discreetly went to the Terrio level to briefly observe the final details of Gregory's visit. As the CEO was leaving, I noticed tensions between Lauren and Anthony. Before taking off, Gregory discreetly sent Alana a brief but important message. Upon seeing the pseudo gesture, Alana immediately realized that the operation was at an absolute level, requiring maximum vigilance and intensified preparation for the next decisive movements that would follow. As it was being carefully reviewed, it came across detailed internal claims made by black employees, all of which were abandoned without any further action from the company. Testimonials with explicit moral assassination and racial prejudice were completely ignored. Alana quickly took pictures of every pertinent page, understanding exactly how those findings could directly affect the investigation's outcome. The wealth of the found material greatly beyond their initial expectations, reaffirming their unwavering commitment to the success of that crucial mission. Alana had quiet moments in the Vasio corridor before ending her round. Samuel Chenard discreetly appeared and asked, Suspite que Laurenti enviaria para cá. Algo útil encontrado. With extreme caution. Alana briefly mentioned the findings, while providing the most detailed description of the specifics, in a straightforward manner. Samuel agreed. Estamos próximos. Logo poderimos desmascararlos completamente. While Samuel was being cautious, Alana reflected passionately on the risks and benefits of that hidden alliance. Determined to act carefully until the end, before we return, please let us know where you are receiving assistance, and if this story takes you by the hand. Don't let it drag you down, because I've prepared something truly unique for you. Alana was unexpectedly called to Lauren's main writing assignment in the following manhã. As soon as I walked in, I noticed Elaine Summers's fachada and rigid expression. Recibimos denuncias sobre você acessando individualmente documentos confidenciais no deposito. Ok, exatamente está procurando. Cara, Lauren said sharply, her voice impotent with disbelief. With careful breathing control, Alana calmly replied, Apenas realizo limpieza padreo. Senora Bellamy, neo tenho nenhum interesse particular nos contudos guardados nas caixas antigas. Lauren watched Alana for a few long seconds, looking for signs of hesitation or reluctance. From now on, their tasks will be carried out under direct supervision. They declared icily. Alana saw Bruce Lancaster, the head of executive security, immediately upon returning to the department, keeping a close eye on every move, realizing the seriousness of such continual vigilance. They realized that any future action would require absolute precaution. Every step taken under that intense scrutiny could directly determine the investigation's end result. Later, when recalling forgotten documents, Alana found obscured reports that explained systematic rejections to qualified black employees. Vincent Reed was plainly in the spotlight, despite his impressive performance. His evaluations were criticized for being poco proativo by commentators, knowing that these acts of sabotage were a common tactic used by Lauren to maintain power and safeguard his exclusive and private executive circle. Alana felt silent outrage upon discovering these terrible discoveries. At the end of the afternoon, Alana testified against Oliver Tate, who was subordinate to the RH and repressedly removed the main archivos anti-gas canisters. Lauren wants this to disappear before the external audit, he whispered to another employee. Alana recognized the seriousness of that illegal removal of critical evidence as soon as she saw the boxes marked Reclamacos Internas Resolvidas. It was necessary to act quickly in order to obtain copies before they were destroyed by the equipment that Lauren had manipulated. Cuidado. Esteo monitorando sus pasos was the brief and unofficial message Alana received on her work cell phone that night. His corazón immediately went into maximum alert upon discreetly observing Janela. It was the first time that a suspicious automobile was seen outside of the predio. I immediately sensed the tension rising and realized that Lauren was willing to do whatever it took to protect his authority, even if it meant using invasive and amicador tactics. Every moment, the Museo Tornavesi becomes more perigosa. Elaine Summers gave Alana a personal directive at the beginning of the next round that was assimilated by Lauren. Aparta de hoje. Você trabalhará exclusivamente na limpeza dos depósitos inferiores. Alana clearly understood that silent retaliation that was separated from functional remanagement. Without showing any reaction, it acted proactively, keeping the distance unbroken. However, they already anticipated that transfer as a strategic opportunity, possibly even more valuable for accessing lost or abandoned documents in that isolated portion of the company. Alana encountered Escuros and Emporeros while descending from the escadas to the lower level. Upon entering the first armazenament room, it was evident that the anti-gas were labeled and disorganized. Carefully examining one of them, they discovered original contracts that were rejected systematically with the discriminatory annotations, incompatible profile, and inadequate behavior. The full potential of that unexpected discovery was immediately apparent. Quickly, they started meticulously registering each document while maintaining the highest level of vigilance in case someone else entered the Escondido local. Alana returned to the apartment at the end of the day and activated Gregory King's protected chamber. In vivo, they displayed the most recent carefully documented provas. The CEO conducted a thorough analysis, comprehending the weight of all the evidence gathered against the TechFuture executive team. He asked seriously, "Precisamos aprofundar esse padrão de comportamento?" Alana agreed, noting that even if those provas were significant, they still needed to be expanded to include more employees directly impacted by the company's institutionalized discrimination. During the morning break, Samuel discreetly invited Alana to a brief conversation in the cafeteria area. "I could clearly see how Lauren treats employees like you," he said carefully as he shivered nervously in the coffee shop. "Ha enas testemunho isso. Sei preciser. Posso fornecer relatos adicionais." Alana felt a sense of unhappiness, believing that she had found someone who was willing to speak in private. However, they cautiously considered the maximum amount of possible collaboration and were unsure of the true intentions of the executor in question. Over time, Samuel handed Alana a pen drive, warning her, "Acquiesteo avaliacos internas. Gravecos comprometedoras emails antigos. Sea cautelosa ao utilizer." Alana felt the corazo accelerate with the potential importance of that hidden material. Before leaving quickly, he said, "Tenha cuidado extra. Lauren está desconfiada." After carefully examining each word, Alana realized that, despite Samuel's seeming solidarity, she needed to ask him about his true intentions before fully trusting him. After returning to the apartment that evening, Alana carefully checked the content Samuel had given her on a secure computer. Documents exposed discriminatory practices against a number of employees, particularly directed at Black co-workers. These specifics of denied promotions and dismissals fully validated the institutionalized padrão that she had previously documented. Alana saw right away that Samuel's cooperation, even though it was halted, represented a significant advancement in the investigation and required the highest level of caution while taking the next steps in that delicata operation. Avaliciosamente aquels provas inesperadas. Alana would be seriously considering Samuel, although the wealth of information provided could greatly aid their mission. There is also undoubtedly a potential risk in that association. Samuel might have hidden intentions, possibly using Alana as a tool in a major corporate game. Breathing heavily, she chose to carefully accept that assistance, maintaining, despite this, the highest level of vigilance. "I knew that at that pivotal juncture, any mistake might undoubtedly lead to a critical mistake in the development of TechFuture." The following day, Lauren called a private meeting with RH chef Elaine Summers. Alana listened to the conversation involuntarily while quietly cleaning the side of the room. "I would like a complete revision of Kara Simons's articles. I am certain that there are inconsistencies in her history," Lauren instructed, obviously manipulating information to support future retaliation. Alana quickly calmed down, immediately putting an end to the executive's arduous attempt to assess his position, regardless of any potential defense or reaction. At 22 hours, Lauren intentionally started a garcum, putting a tinted vinho over her marfim-clad Carissimo. Alana was nearby, guaranteeing a buffet of drinks, visibly agitated. Lauren raised her hand aggressively and said, "That's what happens when you hire incompetent employees." Immediately, Alher's constrangidos turned to the light. Alana carefully controlled her expression by putting her bandager aside and approaching guards to clean the garment as Lauren repeatedly insulted him, purposefully using a high voice to minimize his humiliation. The uneasy silence that followed confirmed to Alana that the incident was successful in capturing attention. Influential executions were silent, astonished, and alarmed by the operational director's unchecked aggression. On the opposite side of the Saleo, Anthony Grayson was observant and tense. After finishing the task quietly, Alana discreetly left the attention center, proceeding cautiously to the closest corridor. He immediately recorded every detail of that critical incident, clearly anticipating its pivotal moment in the next stages. After that, Alana reviewed the security-related gravecos obtained during the celebration at the apartment. Among the insults Lauren made, the phrase, "This is an inevitable consequence of contracts by companies of diversity," stood out. Every gravata syllaba was carefully categorized and examined. Alana is aware of the weight of these discriminatory words and the absolute probability of united proverbs. Sensing the importance of each piece of evidence, they meticulously stored every detail in the application's cryptographato system. Later, during routine business hours, Samuel Chenard discreetly approached Alana as she finished remembering the Lixo das Salas Executivas. Samuel cautiously looked away to avoid any testimonies from the conversation. "Ok, Lauren fez com você na festa foi absurdo. Eu six tudo. Está documentando isso?" he asked. Alana hesitated briefly, weighing the risks before cautiously agreeing with the head, indicating her statement and pointing out the potential significance of that unspoken ally. Following her conversation with Samuel, Lauren appeared remorsefully in the corridor, visibly disillusioned at the realization that the interaction had taken place 2 seconds earlier. "Cara, ¿hay alguma razão especial para conversar tanto com nossos executivos?" he asked Frank. Obviously trying to intimidate her, Alana gave a detailed response, avoiding any suspicions. "Apenas orienticos rapidas. Senora Bellamy. So brim in her rotina diaria." Lauren carefully considered the response, which was obviously unsatisfactory, before departing slowly and launching a ultimo her amiacador sobre esse ombro. Later, during a brief pause in a fast-paced psalm, they reviewed the fake gravecos, together with the accuracy of the annotations. The clarity of the audio gave her further confidence. Alana carefully checked the application's cryptographic security and made sure all the files were protected by an external novum that could not be rastered. This technology would be their great ally, enabling them to act quickly and effectively while calmly constructing the solid case required for the future acquisition of TechFuture. At that time, Alana Testman Lauren represented a young black analyst named Vincent Reed with depreciative comments as she discreetly cleaned up the executor's corridors. "Você must be grateful for being here. His vaga may be occupied by someone who is truly qualified." Vincent gave a silent nod, his eyes small. Alana was deeply hurt by the comment, but she also had an emotional reaction, aware of how crucial it was to compare words to words at that humble and very illuminating moment. Later, Alana quickly climbed up in the Vasio elevator with Samuel Chenard. "In terms of education," he complained, "is it true that you are new here?" Her voice was friendly, but he clearly offered advice. "Has cuidado. Nem tudo é como aparenta ser." Before she could react, the elevator opened, and Samuel quickly vanished among moving corridors. Alana understood right once that, despite that seeming kindness, Samuel was indicating that he was aware of the irregularities that were present. Alana received a direct notification on her cell phone this evening. Lauren Bellamy requires all operational staff to be present for the TechFuture annual conference, which is scheduled for this Saturday at 20 hours. The final message emphasized that the cleaning crew provided services without additional compensation for the extra work. Alana saw this as a valuable opportunity to gather new contradictory evidence, immediately gave Gregory the confidential information, reinforcing the strategic plan to take advantage of that exceptional occasion in his favor. On Saturday, the company's front desk was transformed into a lively saleo, with tons of dourados adorning the interior. Executivos were talking cheerfully while ignoring Alana and moving around discreetly recalling Vasias. The constant vigilance. Attentive to any revelatory manifestation of Lauren or Anthony Grayson, in spite of the presenter's unhappiness. Alana feels clearly tense and fervilhando below the surface, patiently waiting for any significant incident to upset the discriminatory attitudes that are already deeply enraged. At 8:05, Lauren Bellamy arrived at the department's port with a superior and began critically examining Alana, furiously. Espero efficiencia maxima. Cara. Des dam explicito. Escarendo em cada salaba nos alhas vascularam Alana, from cima abaixo. Neo tolerai atrasos nem incompetencia. It happened abruptly before Alana could finally react, while Lauren slept. Alana breathed deeply, mentally capturing that first impression. A clear manifestation of the fear that he would need to face on a daily basis without revealing his true identity. Alana felt the weight of the arrogance that surrounded that environment during the first tasks. Executivos would abruptly stop working with her if she encountered a significant obstacle from the police officers. Lauren ironically said, "Limp rapido. Seu trabalho neo permite lentideo." After accidentally dropping some papias in the chow, Alana immediately resigned, expressing outrage. Every humiliation appears to be intended to test dignity and composure. As a result, Alana remains calm and determined to keep her hidden mission intact. Over time, the gerent said, "Você é apenas uma faxineira imunda. Fique no seu lugar. Derramando café no piso." Alana King, a young black woman, ajolha se para enxergar o café enquanto executivos riem ao redor. Limp logo. Vocês exist para isso. Keeping the eyes small. Resisting the urge to look. Quem sabe como esforço você chega a sala do correio dia? Mas eco difícil. Asks the provocative gerent. Lauren Bellamy. Esses funcionários contratados por diversidade nunca ficam muito tempo. To be specific, Alana liga o celular. Ativa gravaqueo e o guarda no bolso. Lauren remarks with a colleague without mentioning anything. She faces the camera directly. Everyone in the sala ficam paralisados. Minutos depois. And you? How would you handle this situation at work? Before entering Gregory's writing, Alana King took a deep breath. She reviewed some unsettling articles on the TechFuture. Only in the last 9 months have these denuncias been rejected. The toxic culture should be exposed prior to military acquisition. Alana, who had graduated from Stanford with a degree in executive management, was certain that she would infiltrate personally. Pai. Passo provar isso de dentro. Siriai and vice versa. Como faxineira. Gregory hesitated. Worried. Muito arriscado. Confia em mim, was Alana's forceful command. Before we return, please let us know where you are receiving assistance, and if this story takes you by the hand. Don't let it drag you down, because I've prepared something truly unique for you. Gregory. Attorneys and auditors debated at the presidency. Legal expert Denise Crawford warned of potential risks, including corporate espionage and retaliation. Meio disfarce neo levantar suspidas. Os mais arrogants ignoram aqueles que limpam sua sujeira. Alana said calmly. The silence lasted for a moment. The phrase 30 dias para resultados concretos was finally agreed to by Gregory. The pressure was immediately noticeable. Alana felt a mixture of anxiety and resolve. I couldn't handle the gravity of that crucial miss. Wearing a modest outfit. Hicracha using the fictitious name Cara Simons at 7:15. A notable example of a modern predio is the 22 Andars building. As Alana entered the Latadu lobby, she began to notice oddities. En route to RH. His coração accelerated discreetly. Limpeza executiva imediata. Turno das 6H is 14H was the only directive I gave Elaine Summers, who was distraught with archivos. Nenem visual contado. Alana immediately saw the sarcastic behavior displayed by employees deemed beneath her by the company. No elevator rumo ao ultimo andar. Dois executivos talked erratically, ignoring Alana as it was obvious. Essas políticas de diversidade atrasam nossas entregas, said one of them ironically. She discreetly committed every word and expression to memory. As we began cleaning up the luxurious writings, we discovered confidential documents carelessly exposed to Messimas. With a sense of calm, Alana quickly realized a powerful advantage. Her apparent insignificance allowed her complete access to the silent and hidden core of business irregularities.